Mm. Where does someone buy tickets for the Asbury Lanes? Would they just go to an event on Facebook or like when you promote, like if you'd like to buy tickets, it's like probably best to go through the page, but I guess you could probably go through the website.
Hey y'all, it's Grace Field here, performer extraordinaire, and you are listening to Rock On Radio. Rock on.
What? Come on. It's not like my daughter watches. I'm strictly forbidden to dance in front of my child. Children, actually.
Add me to that list.
My son just walks away. My daughter collapses in embarrassment.
Yeah, well, I'm with your daughter. Totally.
Typical.
Add me to the list.
You
I
hear
have to
that?
stare at you dancing. That's even worse. She can walk away.
Wow. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rock On Radio. It is Sunday night. It is live here on coaradio.com. Also live on societybitesradio.com. BYTES. For those of you at home
Watching.
I want to thank them for carrying our show live as well here. That's right, watching me dance. And you can find Art. Where can they find the YouTube link?
On coaradio.com.
Oh, on the right-hand side.
See? So for those of you watching on radio, you can do that right now. See, we give you both options.
We do.
You can turn us off on both options.
Tune us out.
All right. This is Rock On Radio. I am Danny Coleman, and of course, the ship is steered this evening by engineer Art.
Hello.
Yeah, thankfully.
And produced by
Hi. Because I don't do very much, but
by Willy
I
Wonka.
bring chocolate.
All right, Coleman, where's Willy Wonka?
I should have worn purple tonight. I
Why?
have my purple sweater.
You got a great shirt on. Kenny K and the
Yes,
Way.
I
Look at that.
do,
Kenny
yes.
K would be very happy.
You would. There it
He
is.
does tune in from time to time. Hopefully he'll tune in tonight. You know
right.
Kenny K? Okay. Obviously, you're not in the way. Rock On Radio is brought to you this evening by Jody Weber, CPA, actress Eileen Sullivan,
Yes.
and the only radio program sponsored by a Grammy Award-winning hot sauce maker, Mr. D.L. Byron of Zen Archer Hot Sauce. Woo! That's right. And the city of Angels, of course.
Of course.
The holidays are coming up, so with the pressure that comes along with the holiday season
Mhm.
over the next 6 to 8 weeks, I would say, organizations such as this, the City of Angels, are a little bit on overload sometimes. So please, actually, if anybody would like to be a sponsor of this program, Rock On Radio,
Now's the time.
Yeah, make a donation to the City of Angels. Go to cityofangelsnj.org. That's cityofangelsnj.org. And I'm looking at you at home. That's right. Go to cityofangelsnj.org. Make a donation. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's $1, $10, $1,000, $1 billion. And if that's the case, talk to me privately. And I'll make you a sponsor of Rock On Radio for 30 days. So
Perfect.
just make sure when you go to the City of Angels site and on the tab that you put in the comments or where it asks for a memo, just put Rock On Radio. And that way Art will know who it is that donated and where it goes.
And we can
That would be
announce
correct.
them.
Correct.
We can talk about them
We can.
Mhm.
Every show.
every chance we get.
That's correct. And we'll talk good too. we'll talk well of you.
We had some technical difficulties, but we're back out here.
Oh no! We'll be on air.
How much did we
No,
miss?
we're on.
Okay. Well, for those of you,
Missed us.
audio or video, which one? Art?
Audio.
Okay. Oh boy. But we are back. Good. For our guest this evening from right over there, Art. You need a little more room with that table. Our guest this evening has come all the way from. Where did you come from?
Red Bank.
Red
Yeah.
Bank,
Yeah, woo.
Red Bank, New Jersey area. Ms. Tara Dente.
Wow.
See?
Thank you. James.
You know, on
And
radio.
Art and Claire.
Man, on radio, that sounds like there's like 22,000 people
Yes.
in this room. Wait till you hear it.
You don't know how many other personalities I have in my head. And they're
They're all here.
That's
they're all in
beautiful.
this room right now.
And tonight we're going to attempt to get to all of them.
Great.
If you want to give us a call
I'll pay you
tonight,
later.
you
for
can
the
do
session.
so at 609-241-7103. That's 609-241-7103. If you would like to ask questions or have a comment about any of us in this room, including
Wait a minute.
more questions from Ms. Tara Dente.
Let's keep it for Tara.
That's right. And you can do that, 609-241-7103. Or you can follow along on Facebook.
Yes.
Danny Coleman's Rock On Radio 2, the
Mhm.
number 2. Or Twitter and Instagram at Rock On Radio. All one word, all capital letters. And we will do our best to get to everyone's comments. And sometimes I miss them because people put them in the event as opposed to on the page. But that's okay too.
Yeah.
You know what?
And
I
I
get
post
there
pictures, so,
eventually.
yeah.
You know, last couple of weeks I feel bad because Terry, actually from Missouri, who
Right.
listens faithfully every week,
Mhm.
was following the program, and I wasn't thinking because I didn't see anything pop up as a notification. You know, so enough of that.
Yeah.
But Tara is here with us. Excuse me, because you are part of the Making Waves Food for Thought benefit this coming weekend for the hungry and the homeless.
Heck yes, I am.
Mm.
I'm excited about it. And I get to play with my homegirl, Pamela Flores.
Mhm.
which I'm really
Nice.
She
excited
was in here a
about.
couple
Mhm.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
I wanted to keep her, but they wouldn't let me.
Yeah, you did.
like as a pet, or
Yeah,
I
like-
mean,
yeah.
I don't,
And she was cute.
She was like, "Can we keep her?"
yeah.
I was like, "Can we keep her? She's so cute."
Yeah, just revisit it a little later. I mean, she might be open to it. Yeah, and then Des and the Swagmatics, they're incredible. So it's going to be a fun little
Night.
group of people. I'm going to be
Right.
solos for that show.
Oh,
Doing my solo thing.
all right. Well, we're going to get to that in a second, but as long as we are here, I'm going to read this. We'll make sure we get this right off the top. The Making Waves, second annual Making Waves Hunger Benefit for Food for Thought benefits the food charities and homeless charities. And let's see, it's a free show, actually. Anybody that wants to show up. However, you know, as I say, nothing is free.
Exactly. Thank
There will
you.
be a silent auction. There will be a 50-50, and there will be individual donations and a canned food drive. So, come on out and
Bring your food.
bring food. Right. Friday, November 16th at Langosta Lounge. You know, this event takes place, and it takes place in Asbury Park at Langosta Lounge and the Asbury Park Yacht Club, which are separated by about 30 feet. You know, literally, you don't have to leave the one venue to go to the other. So November 16th at the Langosta Lounge, Black Suburbia Music Group, Cook Thugless, and last week's guest here, Evangelia,
Yep.
will be performing. And at the Yacht Club on the 16th is Bulletproof Belv and Maddie Carlock. They're playing together and they're playing separately. And Sonic Bloom, Blume, Sonic Bloom. Then the 17th at Langosta, as Tara just said,
Yes.
Des and the Swagmatics, Pamela Flores, and Tara Dente. And then at the Yacht Club is Chris Rockwell, who was in here a couple of weeks ago
Yep.
as well, just like Pamela Flores. Chill Smith, Experiment 34, and Nalani and Serena. So
Nice.
that's
A
good
great
thing.
lineup.
Yep.
So many
That's
more
awesome.
brands.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
right, there's going to be gift baskets from the Arroyo Art Studio. Let's see. Oh no, artwork by the Silent Auctions. Yes, the Arroyo Art Studio. Gift baskets from Bond Street Complex, the Brew Tea Spot, Steeped Tea Consultant, Russo Music of Asbury Park. There'll be gift certificates and T-shirts from Langosta Lounge, Pop's Garage, Mexican Cantina, Mogo in Asbury Park, Silver Ball Museum, and a signed book and T-shirt from the Danny Clinch Transparent Gallery. Now, also added to that list,
Drum roll, please.
that's right, is a chance to co-host this very radio program.
Mhm.
So if you want to come out, there will be a Rock On Radio gift basket. I know there'll be some
Chocolate.
Rock On Radio tchotchkes.
Chocolate.
There'll be
Provide the
some
chocolate.
Rock On Radio.
Mhm.
Yeah, there'll be some chocolate.
Mhm.
There'll be maybe some other things like a
Okay.
coffee mug.
Mhm.
We'll throw some COA gear in that. Too.
Some
Ah.
COA T-shirt. Look at that. See,
Swag.
it grows, and the chance to
And
So-
a John Furlong said. Jack Furlong.
Jack
Jack
Furlong
Furlong
CD.
CD.
That's right.
A
Got it.
lifetime supply.
Yeah, we got 1,000 of
Posters.
them. And a chance to co-host this program. So, whatever the value is of that,
That's priceless.
I may owe people money.
That's so cool. I haven't
I would say
co-hosted yet.
I'd say about $7,000.
Think so?
That's roughly the value.
Nice.
Or priceless.
Ooh,
Either of those.
I think I like priceless.
Boy, am I glad this isn't The Price is Right.
We're-
We went way over on that
Way.
showcase. Drew Carey would not be pleased. But yeah, so that's the Make a Waves second annual benefit for Food for Thought, and we'll be
Mhm.
discussing that throughout the program.
Right.
And so, how did you get involved with Mr. Macon?
Oh, let's see. Well, I think it was. Where's that chatter coming from? Is that
Art.
Art.
Art refuses to turn
That
his
one is-
volume
is
down.
that one of the voices in my head?
Yes,
getting loud already.
Those voices.
They're getting.
Yes.
He's checking to make sure we're still on the air.
Your own voice.
Bob Macon. So there was the summer series where I played. You were there
Mhm.
at
The Asbury Brewery.
The Asbury Brewery. Yep,
Mhm.
and I played with the trio.
I was there
that
too.
night.
I was
you
taking
were.
pictures.
Yeah,
Yes,
you were. Where was Art? We don't know.
I don't know. You could make. You were supposed to be there. You got sick.
So
Yeah.
I played. I played that night. I mean, so I guess I did meet him, before that in person, but that was the sort of night that we all got to hang out and I got to talk to him a little bit and see what he does, and he waves his brush over the canvas, and then there's a bunch of people and things that show up and happen, and so he asked me to be a part of that. It's like a folk kind of show that night. So I did I was with my trio, Krista Brow on upright bass, and I
Right.
had Chris Cologne on
Yeah, that was
lap
cool.
steel. I did some foot percussion,
Mhm.
but that was my first kind of main experience with Bob Macon. I've heard his name for a while now.
Okay.
He knows everybody. I don't know any. None of my friends, have not met him or worked with
Not
him.
heard Bob
He's
Macon.
got a great
Mhm.
reputation.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I have to tell you that night though, that the foot percussion thing, I took pictures and brought them home to my girls. I was so impressed. I'm like, you have got to. You took a
Thank you.
suitcase and put a drum head in. Did you do it? Or how did? And then you put your name on it.
Kevin Grossman is the one. He is the mastermind behind actually putting it together. I was inspired. I would say the catalyst for it happening finally was Shaky Graves, the
Mhm.
folk musician, and I had the idea about 5 years ago, and I guess things develop slowly with me sometimes, and it just takes something happening for me to finally be like, okay, I believe in myself enough to do that, or I'm going to finally try that. but I was like, dang it, like Shaky took it. So now it's his thing, but I can do it too. So
Sure.
but then
Look
I
at
started
you.
playing with a drummer recently with Santo Rizzolo. So who's fantastic and absolutely outshines the abilities of my feet. So
Oh, they were pretty good.
thank you.
I was very impressed.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yes.
Well, yeah,
It's fun to do.
I was going to bring that up as well. When I saw you, you know, you had the whole right foot going on there with the with the thing behind you.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, there's a musician. He was involved with the Spin Doctors for a while, and he's produced quite a few gold records and things. A fellow by the name of Anthony Kreisen, and he used to do a duo or a trio with a woman by the name of Cece Coletti, who used to tour with Meatloaf as one of his backup singers. And when she was home, her and her husband on bass sometimes they would do this little trio thing. Well, when the husband wasn't available to do it, he would bring out a bass drum. Now he's an incredible guitar player, but he would bring out a bass drum and a bass drum pedal. And while that was it, that was their percussion slave. It was like a one-man band. And then when you did it, it was so cool because it was backwards.
Yes.
It was behind,
that was
it was
incredible.
behind you.
Yes.
And then you had the tambourine on the other foot.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
Well, it happened in different iterations. Actually, the first time I tried doing percussion was at the Revolutionary Lounge for my album release show. It was like the first time I ever even tried it, and I just decided to go for it. And it was like this, like, I don't know, an Irish hand drum propped up against something with like a pedal that was not designed for that next to it, and it kept moving and it was sliding around, and I was like, all right. And I was sitting down, and then later I tried it again, and I tried putting it in front of me, and I would be playing for like 20 minutes, and I'd get shin splints.
Yeah, so you get cramping.
So it's like, you learn really quickly, like, oh, I'm gonna have to develop some calf muscles to do this differently, because so that it's harder to do it immediately, but like over time, you just have the muscle memory kind of develops, and it's way easier to do it that way behind you.
Right, which was amazing. So people don't realize that you had it backwards. So the drum was behind you, and you're stepping on those pedals with your heel.
It's like Stairmaster.
Yeah, that's true.
Gives you a whole different.
While you're playing the guitar.
Yeah, like
gives you a whole different
I'm
appreciation.
trying to work
for
out.
drummers,
I have
huh?
to figure it out.
It does. Yeah,
It does. Absolutely.
Yes, those percussionists.
Yeah, well, I only have to keep time to myself this way, so it's nice.
That's right.
go.
When you're leading it, it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Very
cool.
nice.
Every once in a while, I skip a beat or two, though.
Oh,
We never did.
skip the beat. See?
Yeah.
That's right. Tune into Rock On Radio. You'll never skip a beat. Sorry. Yes, you are going to have to put up with this one.
You are.
Unless you
We do.
unless you want to leave.
Hour and a half left.
45. Hour 45. Don't cheat yourself. Or me. Now, the first time I ever saw you perform was, God, probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago now, maybe.
Do you know where it was?
I'm trying to think, because I know the second time was at Lenoka Harbor when I was on 40 Foot Hole. We broadcast that songwriter thing over Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
And the first time, for the life of me, I cannot remember where it was.
Well, I know it was started at the Rev Lounge open mic, Keyport open mic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Might have been Espresso Joe's.
Yeah, Espresso
Yeah.
Joe's was one of like the first places I was really playing regularly.
Okay. How long have you been playing, Tara?
Well, I've been playing guitar since I was about 17, 18. I'm 30.
Okay.
You can do the math.
She might be the first female guest that ever volunteered their age.
I
want to put that out there.
I am so happy to be out of my 20s. You have absolutely no idea.
We're all wishing we were back in our 20s.
No, I wouldn't.
Don't.
I'm 50.
It's just-
I'll announce that. I don't care.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go back.
Don't go back.
Mhm.
It's nice knowing who you are more so, and that happens when you're out of your 20s, I think. But I started playing guitar around the age of 17, 18, but before that I've been playing piano since I can remember.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't really write songs I wrote some songs on piano, but it wasn't really the instrument that I used for voice. So I feel like guitar was just more natural for songwriting and singing at the same time, like playing and singing at the same time for whatever reason. And Yeah. So I guess it's kind of recent, you know. Some people have been playing their instrument their whole lives. I mean, I've been playing music my whole life, but guitar's the newer instrument for me.
Have you ever wanted to do anything else?
What do you mean? Like,
Well, what I mean is there are some people who come through these doors and they say, well, originally I wanted to be a doctor, or I wanted to be a
yeah.
waste management guru, aka
Yeah.
garbage
Hey.
man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Which the world needs too now.
Mhm.
But and then others come through here and say, no, I've known I wanted to be
Gotcha.
an entertainer or performer since I was this high.
So answers are never going to be short with me, but I'll try.
We got 2 hours. See?
I majored in psychology, so everything is analytical for me, especially with myself, but just the world. I don't know. There's layers to everything. But so I would say that the most direct answer to that is I imagine myself probably being in the mental health field as a counselor or a therapist or working with arts and therapy in the last like 5-6 years. Mostly because it kind of combined my interests but mostly because it was like it felt stable and like okay, if I do that, I know I'll be fine. I'll have an income. It's like there's predictability in it and there's a clear cut path in it. Um, when I was in school, I started at Brookdale, transferred to Kane. And when I was at school, I had a moment where I could pick between education. It was like early on thinking about being a teacher, but it just felt like kind of the default setting in a way for me. And I was like, I don't think that's it. And I always felt really protective of freedom, having freedom around creativity, and was almost afraid of it being changed or tailored by education. So I sort of have always like skirted away from like lessons, and I did take some voice lessons, some piano lessons growing up as the disclaimer, and I'm grateful for them. They really helped me, but I've always been like resistant to somebody saying this is how you should do it. And I think the idea of going into college and like um really taking something that was like felt really pure and intuitive and pushing it through an education machine like really scared me. So I decided to dig into psych because it's something that I just was drawn toward. Um, so I think it took me a while to get to this point where music became a focus and something I actually want to try to figure out. How do I support myself financially and like logistically doing this? But I wanted to wait as long as I could to not put that kind of pressure onto it because I didn't want music and my songwriting really to just be shaped by external forces like a paycheck, like a bill that I have to pay, or like a song that someone needs me to write for their purpose and not for my purpose. So I've been very protective of it, but I got to the point where I'm like, okay, well, this is something you share. You don't just play in your room forever. And some people do, and that's okay if that's what they want. But being a performer was not my agenda, and I struggle with feeling like, am I entertaining people? I don't really know, because I'm not up there like I'm shifting that mentality of, oh, okay, I'm an entertainer, because I just wrote songs and enjoy sharing that with people. So learning the business aspect of all of it is new, and it's challenging for me because I was kind of clinging to this idea of being a professional in a different way for a while. Um, so I would say like I've always been creative, and I've also went through high school, went through college, so there's that expectation of becoming a professional in some way. Um, but yeah, I don't think it became clear until like this year, maybe last year.
Okay.
I joined a small label based in Willis, Virginia, called Traviana. Well, that's the small label. They're a really big bluegrass label called Mountain Fever. But I'm not bluegrass, so they started this new division of that label called Traviana for Americana music. Um, and so that was the moment when they said, like, do you really want to do this? Like, is this serious for you? And I'm like, yes. Like, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, I guess I'm doing this. Okay, let's do this. So it's like, it's scary for me to go into a field that's like totally
Foreign.
foreign. Yeah. It's kind of like you worked in finances your whole life and then you want to become a novelist and you're like, how do I do this? Like
Right.
it's, you got to learn the skills. So
Well, there's some of the things to point some of the things that you said just then. It's been said a lot recently on this program that if there is a plan B, then plan A will never come to fruition.
Yeah.
Because you're always thinking, oh, well, I have that.
Yep.
I can always fall back on that. I can,
That's what my day job has been for a long time, or
Right.
used to be. Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm not knocking plan B.
No, I mean, it's saved many women from having pregnancies they didn't want, and I appreciate that. I'm sorry. I had to. That's you know what? I'm sorry. I'll reel it in. Go on.
No, you
Go on.
I love it.
I'm a little salty.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah. But you were saying a lot of your guests
I've
have
been accused of worse on this program, so don't worry about it.
A lot of people have been saying,
they've
similar
been,
things,
because you're not giving your entire focus to your goal, because in the back of your mind, well, that don't work out. I can always do this.
Right.
And that's,
And you're holding yourself back. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There's some sort of like limitation there, like law of attraction, like,
right.
like, I've recently started really clinging to that, like that, mindset of like, the more you lean into it, the scarier it is, but the more you get back from it too. So, going all in is terrifying, but I think you get more
Right.
out of it.
But, well, and I've said it more than once to friends and family over the last 15 years, when the last 15 years of my life have been extremely difficult.
Mm.
And, in the words of my buddies and the criers, be careful, because the light at the end of the tunnel might be a train. And I've only begun to get to the point where I see it's not a train anymore. I can see the light of day, finally. And that's literally only been over the last 3 months. And, there are a lot of times where exactly what you just said, I thought to myself, oh man, I can't, because I have this nagging feeling myself that something is holding me back. I can't put a finger on what it is. Apparently I know what it is, or so I'm told, but I can't put a finger on it. And a lot recently, something's been telling me to quit my day job. I mean, the problem is I take some meds that I need. So it's like, all right, so how do I get them without insurance?
Yeah. There's a lot of logistics that come up like all the time. Yeah.
But then you're like, you're thinking to yourself, well, what do you do?
Right.
So I would rather live with 1,000 failures instead of one regret. I mean, I don't care. I fail all the time. I'm used to it. But from that failure does come other opportunity. Like I used to tell my kids, you don't get defeated, you get more determined. Prove them wrong, prove him wrong, prove her wrong. Do whatever you're going to do,
Yeah.
And they're in their 20s now. So I also used to tell my children, I love you enough to let you fail.
That's huge. That's probably bigger than you realize for them. Yeah. Yeah.
And somehow, how all kids at some point tell their mother or father that they, because they won't let them do something, I hate you, or whatever they call them. My children have never said that to me, which means either I did a great job or a not so good job. Either one. But no, I totally understand everything you just said. So you made the decision now to go. But when you first started, I mean, I think the first time I saw you, you had long hair. And then the second time I saw you, you had really short hair.
Yeah, probably.
And I remember sitting at that singer-songwriter circle on that Labor Day weekend in, Lenoka Harbor, and thinking, my God, this woman is incredibly talented.
Thank you.
But even back then, your music, it was different than what it is now. Because when Claire and I saw you at the brewery, I said to her, oh my God, her music is so different now.
Yeah.
And and I like it. I liked your other stuff, but I love this stuff. What you're doing now is really great.
Thank you.
Don't sell yourself short, because you're very quick-witted and you're very good on stage.
Oh, thanks.
You-
I was
No.
just thinking about the other night at the Saint where I felt like I was just fumbling, like just like so self-deprecating, but it's part of it.
You
You
played
know.
the Saint with who?
I did. It was gonna be the Chubby. It was a long story, but it was like kind of last minute move to the Saint, which is so there was a lot of promotion involved, unfortunately, for that one. But uh, that one. So Dave Mooney has a residency. So he invited me to play that show. Um, and there were a couple of people, Ellis Wilkinson and Vendetta Rose were
Okay.
the other two. So they were great. I've heard them. I heard them for the first time that night. So it's cool being on bills with new people to you. Um, but I opened that night, and it's funny you bring that up because, and it's also cool to like hear you reflect on my growth because that's I value that having people that care and like notice the shift and like where you're going with what you're doing. Um, but I think through and through, like I'm a finger picking folk singer songwriter. Like that's what I am before anything else. So I think with the Gleaner, the last album, the current one, it took an Americana turn, which I love, and it felt right to do that and to expand the songs by working with other musicians and with a band. Um, it does change your songs though because it takes a free form thing that like once again I said I just didn't have song structure in place. It was like whatever I wanted it to be. Like, oh, there's no bridge. Oh, there's another chorus, or there's no chorus at all. And my first album, Leave Your Ghost Behind, was very freeform, and which I love, and that's what it was at the time. And working with other musicians and being in a band has helped me to. I don't want to say conform. It's helped me to
Structure.
sometimes having structure with your songs actually like helps them to breathe more because you feel like that structure helps you um to feel more free within it. Like it's just I don't know how to explain it. I guess
It's like parenting.
it's not what?
It's like parenting. It's one of your things
Yeah.
you have to have.
Yeah, you have to, right? You feel safer. Like it's I mean, I think that moving toward like a more traditional song structure, um it's been cool to see that I was afraid before like oh no I don't want to do songs the way everybody does songs, but that doesn't really happen. You're still like a unique songwriter who is going to infuse every song with that element and like essence of what you do. So it's been cool like trying out different things and trying to let go of the fear and just like let other musicians influence you and help you to grow. um I noticed like people saying like, wow, I really like with a new song, um, something that feels too sparse or too slow or something. 'Cause I'm used to filling in all the space with like finger picking and lots of lines and things like that. But when you let a song like breathe, something else can happen there that maybe can't happen in a song that's busier and faster. And, so it's like learning to step back and strum a chord or just like let the song breathe more. I would say
Right.
that's one of the things I've learned too in playing with other musicians and writing songs for a band too, so that they have room to do their thing, which is so fun. Like, and I can talk more at some point if you want the next album that's coming out. Um, that absolutely, uh, yeah, that's part of that process. With the next album was like,
Okay. Well,
yeah,
you've got this one, The Gleaner, which
Mhm.
we'll get to in a
Yeah.
second because I want to get to some music
Sure.
before too much time because I know you got to
Before
go.
people
You got to
think that I'm
go
a
in like
liar.
5 minutes because you're ready to leave. um,
Does this girl actually play music? She just talk. She's talking a lot.
That's all right. That's why you're here. My computer shut off. Though. There we go. Let's get back to that. So you put out The Gleaner
Yeah.
in 2017.
Mhm.
Interesting title.
Yeah. The Gleaner. Would you like me to expound on that? Dan?
Sure, you could do that.
The Gleaner. It's just an image I got in my head. I think there was like a painting from a music history, not music, an art history class that I had at Keene. It was an image. There's like a painting of gleaners. So there's like two people in a field with these field hats, and it's like kind of golden hour. The sun was setting, and they were out these kind of big sacks on their back, and they're bent over picking. whatever from that field. And it was like just really beautiful painting. I think it was like Manet, or I can't remember which artist it was. And some, years later, and then I'm kind of, my brain starts to contrive like what is the theme of this? I like theme. I'm drawn to like what binds this album together. And I guess the thing that it made sense to me is like these songs were written through my 20s, and each song represents some piece of me that I had to sort of pick up, like a lesson that I had to learn, a relationship that ended, just things that happened to you. And I felt like when I picked them all up and put them together, it created something beautiful. But they were really hard in the moment, or they all shaped me. So a gleaner is someone who goes into the field after harvest to take what's left in the field. And I guess that's kind of what your 20s can feel like. It's like you're like picking up the pieces of yourself and, trying to make sense of the things that you're picking up. Like, what do I have? What do I have to offer? Who am I? All those things.
Oh, interesting title.
That's the
Very psychological.
Interesting story.
You see that?
Exactly.
Very psychological. If you're just tuning in, this is Rock On Radio. I am Danny Coleman. Our guest tonight is Tara Dente, who will be performing this coming Saturday
yeah.
at Langosta or Yacht Club. Which one was it? Langosta Lounge, as part of the second annual Making Waves benefit for Food for Thought, to benefit the hungry and the homeless around the holidays. Correct. So what are you going to do for us, Tara?
I'm going to sing a song that is on no album. This one, it's called Enough. This one is about, sort of about just accepting that you're enough, despite feeling like you're not sometimes, like you're falling short. So this is one of those self-assurance songs,
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, I'm going to play that one for you.
All right. Tara Dente.
Read the books that you paid for and turn off the light on the first floor and wash your hands. It's a dirty world out there. Make your bed in the morning and try not to be too boring. It's competitive out there, and you gotta be memorable. And you gotta be strong and pay bills on your own. You gotta be tough and not look too rough. And you gotta make your way and find time to play. You gotta be. Took all your things from a bad break and you moved yourself to a new state, and you said you feel safe where no one knows your cries. And you gotta be strong and pay bills on your own, and you gotta be tough but not look too rough. And you gotta make your way and find time to play. You gotta be enough. gotta be enough, you gotta be enough, you gotta be enough, you gotta be. You gotta be, you gotta be enough, you gotta be enough, you gotta be enough, you gotta be enough, and you are, and you are. Open your blinds to the sunshine and get your fill in the meantime, 'cause you never know when it will go
Tara Dente here on Rock On Radio.
Nice.
Thank you.
It's a line in there that stood out, which I said we weren't going to really talk about, but we'll talk about it, I guess. Where you packed your bags and moved out of state,
Oh yeah.
which you did shortly thereafter, that Labor Day show that I spoke of earlier.
Yeah.
And you went up to New England,
Yeah. I did.
but you came back.
Yes. Twice actually.
Well, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. I was there for a year and a half.
Okay.
And then I came back for a few months and recorded The Gleaner. And then the fall, when I usually have my crisis, I decided to go back.
You planned your crisis.
And I,
That's
and
good.
I but like big progress. Like I'm here in New Jersey in the
Right.
fall. Like I didn't run away. Yeah. So it was good though. I had some awesome experiences in those 3 months. Really packed it in, really. But so recorded The Gleaner summer of 2016, and then went away for a few months, came back, and then released it a year later, I think,
Right.
2017. And then I released it through Traviana. So Dan Matlack worked on it with me, did a ton of pre-production with me, helped me to develop, and then
Where'd you record it?
Lake House.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Very cool.
Yeah, some awesome musicians on that album.
Oh, yeah.
that I
Who's
worked with.
on it? What do we know?
Yeah, Zach Westfall's on bass, Stephen Maxwell on electric and acoustic a little bit too.
Mhm.
Eric Novad on drums for that one. Mark Maysfield on B3.
Oh, I see you use Rick Barry for something.
I think I thanked him because
Okay. Oh, yeah. Special thanks. To
yeah, because he's also been hugely influential. I don't know if he realizes, but he has he's helped me with my songwriting, just kind of directly, indirectly, like just by doing this writing group. And so Blind Pilot came out of a writing prompt.
Which
from
is
him.
also the name of your band that you use?
Yeah, so when I'm playing with the full band now, I'm going by Tara Dente and the Blind Pilots, which
Okay.
it consists of. It's a different group from the Gleaner recording, but so right now I'm playing with Santo Rizolo on drums and Krista Brow on upright bass, sometimes electric bass, and Chris Colon on lap steel. So that's who I recorded the new album with.
They were
Okay.
at the brewery, right? That was the
Yeah.
The three of
right?
the
Paper-
Chris's were
Paper
there.
Jets.
Chris was.
And Santo joined most recently.
Mhm.
He's amazing. So he, So now it's like the first time I've been kind of like a band
Mhm.
that is a set band,
Actually, the Paper Jets have a new CD coming out
Oh, cool.
on
do.
December 7th. And
Yeah.
Nice.
Brian and and I just spoke
Mhm.
literally while she was playing that song. They will be
What's up,
on.
Brian?
They will be on here on the 2nd
Oh,
of
nice.
December.
Okay.
Oh, December.
Right before they release it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I'll miss them.
Actually,
Oh, bummer. I'll miss them.
actually, I am returning on November 26th. I am returning to the scene of the crime,
Uh-oh.
so to speak.
What does that mean?
I will be
We'll find out.
the guest of Brian Eric
No.
on
way.
on One More with Brian Eric.
I'm gonna
I
ask
thought
him
it
to.
was-
I'm gonna ask him to ask
Yeah,
you
it
so
was.
many uncomfortable personal questions, just to reciprocate. No, I'm just kidding. No. I actually my safety zone is like talking about really intense things. Like, so I have to reel it in a lot of the time. Be like, oh, people don't want to talk about that right now. Okay.
I actually started that show myself and his producer.
Oh, wow.
The first year was myself. One More with Danny Coleman.
Oh, that's cool.
And
Didn't know that.
yeah, and then Brian took over for me, and
And Chris was Chris
an
and
amazing
Chris
host.
doing
And
it part
Chris
of
is
it? He
his
was
co-host.
Gotcha.
and I will be a guest of that program November 26th.
Oh, I didn't think they were still doing that.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
He's it's alive and well.
Mhm.
Brian, yeah, he's just a wonderful person, and so he's like, I feel like one of the most supportive peers of mine in our community right now, the music community. He's just like,
And he lives down here. He lives over
Yeah.
by Washington's Crossing, so he's a local guy.
Oh wait,
to this
I just
area.
said yeah, but I think he moved.
Did
Did
he
he move
move?
back? I know he moved
Oh.
to like the Asbury area.
Oh, did
at
he?
one point.
Okay.
But yeah,
I
let's
wasn't
just give
aware
out
of
his
that.
address right now. To
Yeah,
vote.
you got it? Can we
Where
Google
is it,
that?
Brian?
Give it his phone number and there's free.
I got his
English
phone
tickets.
number. I can do that. 8675 So, but no, I had.
So
You're going
one
on
more.
a show.
Yes, and I'm going to be
Chris,
playing
paper
that
jets.
show. I'm going to be playing his album release show with
Oh, okay.
the Blind Pilots.
Oh, with the Blind Pilots.
Yes.
When is that?
It's December 7th, Friday, December
Oh, okay.
7th.
The day that this comes out.
Um,
There's a
The day that will live
Yeah.
in infamy.
Yes.
Correct.
That's right.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to be like that celebration. With
I
all
know what it
them.
was. I was going to say.
Paper
Actually,
jets.
last year around this time, or maybe earlier this year, I can't remember. I think it was the end of last year around this time. Brian and Bill had me on their album podcast show,
Oh, the great albums.
the Great Album
Yeah,
podcast,
or the
right?
great, yeah.
Which was
Which one did you have?
at some point back then was ranked one of the top number one podcast in the country for a while,
Mhm.
for several weeks, and so they had me on there.
Yeah.
Which album
And
did you do?
Led Zeppelin 4,
Oh, of course.
actually.
Of
And do you
course.
know that I've had people reach out to me who have heard that podcast since, because they must have it archived somewhere,
Yeah.
just saying that, they thought it was a great analysis. And I mean, that was, from my heart, that was an opinion,
course.
because I'm a leadhead, always have been. And yes, it was great to talk to Jason Bottom.
I'm sure
I
it
was
was.
I can't talk to his father, who was my idol, but I can talk to the son. Close enough. But I actually got a message about a month ago, and I haven't gotten to it yet because I have so many other things to do. Somebody heard that podcast and wants me to review their CD, and it's a band out in Denver.
Did you get to go?
And they want me to, and so I keep meaning to tell Brian that, and I keep forgetting. So hopefully he's listening. Brian.
So you have to be on location in Denver.
Yeah, I should probably go out there and do that
Yes.
song by song.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go to Denver. It's gonna suck, but
Nice.
you
Yeah,
any reason to go to
Take one for
Colorado.
the team.
Yeah.
yeah. I take it. You want to come, Mark? Bring your camera. Yeah, we're good. All right. So
Bring the camera, we can deduct it.
right. That's right. Write it off.
Write it off.
Okay, so you're in the process of making another disc.
Yeah. All of the my bandmates instruments were tracked, and so we did the bulk of it. I'm going back to do guitar and vocals.
Same
in
studio?
January. Yeah, it's a studio out in Virginia.
No, I mean same Lake House. again? Or are you recording in Virginia?
No,
okay.
recording in Virginia.
Oh.
Yeah, with Chaviana.
Oh, okay.
So they're producing it, and we're gonna have their guys is mastering it. He's gonna send it to someone in Nashville to be mixed, and we're gonna put some strings on it too, which I'm really excited about. So once I get I haven't heard back the rough mixes yet, but we're gonna do strings, and I'm stoked about that because I've always imagined strings in my songs and like, violin, fiddle, like cello.
Well, you had
So-
that lap steel that night, which was
Yeah.
really
Oh
cool.
my god. Yeah, absolutely. I love what Chris Cologne does. It's great.
Actually, I can't remember what the song was that you played that night, but I remember
Moon.
saying to Claire, I was like, man, I love
Moon.
this. I love, was it
Moon.
Was it the moon?
Aw.
Yeah.
You
You
remember
know,
that?
Well, because I loved it too. I mean, so I love.
I am so appreciative of people's appreciation of that song because there's like a little insecurity about the lyrics because it's so repetitive. There are times when I'm like, how does this work? And how do I get away with this being a song? It's too simple, And once again, come back to that
Mhm.
principle. Sometimes people just want
Mhm.
something simple, like
There's something about the melody of it that was sort of the whole the way it was put together.
If
just
it's the
was
one I'm
evoked.
thinking, I'm sure there was an eeriness to it.
Yeah,
You
that's-
mentioned something about a wolf or something.
oh, it might have been Leave Your Ghost Behind, or
Oh, that could have
but-
been it too,
Okay.
right?
but
right.
I
But
love
love-
what like lap steel, adds to those songs, like because I just it feels perfect. So,
Now, when you wrote it, did you have that in mind, or was that something that was like, oh man, I bet you lap steel would sound good here?
well, I was working with Dave Hayes before he passed away. He was playing pedal steel with me, and he was playing with Cranston Dean primarily. So he wasn't very available and really busy guy, understandably, because he's so good. He's just like the best, And so he wasn't on the Gleaner. I wanted him to be on, the next one. But I started working with Chris Cologne before of Levy and the Oaks before Dave passed away, because I just needed to work with someone that was like available because I wanted to be, someone that could be at shows with me. And so it's an unfortunate situation, but also, I got something really great out of it, which is playing with Chris. So so I guess to answer your question, I don't think it was it's a conscious thing in my mind of like, I definitely have to have this instrument, that instrument. But when I would say like I'm always like I always hear, it's just so natural for me to hear all of what I want to hear in my head at the same time. Like, I guess composing is the word I was looking
Mhm.
for. I think I'm always doing that naturally. Like, so what my producer is going to do is send me the rough mixes. I'm going to sit down with a notepad and just write down where I hear strings in my head. And then we're going to compare that and like add them
Right.
to those
Thank
places.
God for technology. Huh?
Yeah, right. It's an interesting process. That's just a little inside view to the process.
Did
but,
you
yeah.
actually go to Virginia,
Mhm.
or okay?
Yeah, the four of us all drove down, and we spent like 3-4 days, long days. It was a lot of fun. You go insane some days where you're just like all sitting around like, oh my god, I can't believe I have to listen to this song again, or like, Mark's so funny, producer. He's making fun of me for like certain parts of songs that get annoying, and like it's like you're totally immersed. I love it. I think like I'm just cut out for that kind of like torture. Like I love it so much. It's the only kind of work that doesn't really ever feel like work. Like I could go and go and go, and it doesn't feel like, I don't know. It doesn't feel strenuous.
Yeah.
Even if I'm stressed, I still am
What's-
fine with it.
What's that old saying? Do what you love, you'll love what you do.
Or like you'll never work a day in your life if you're doing what
If
you
you're
love.
doing what you
Yeah.
love.
Yeah, it's work, but it's like you have to love it enough.
You want to do another tune
Sure.
live, or you want us to go off the disc? What do you want to do?
I think I'll do another one live. I
Okay.
had in mind, this one is on the Gleaner, and which one am I doing? I'm gonna do. Can you hand me that CD real quick?
There you go.
Could I be wrong? Sometimes I need cheat sheets. This one's Could I Be Wrong? So this one is like, I'm kind of annoyed that I like this song because for me, it's not a like emotionally easy song to sing, but those sometimes are the ones that stick out the most. So, I'll just let the lyrics speak for it.
There you go.
oh, oh. I'm not over you yet. I probably never will be. Love is hiding in the corner of this bar. I'm watching your hands caress the neck of your guitar, remembering the feeling of them on me. I'm watching your ship sail away, remembering that very day I let you take back your arms, leaving me cold. It's no one's choice but mine alone, deciding to be on my own, forgoing what I knew could one day be. Oh, oh, oh. I know this love is real. I tell myself it's not, just to make it easier to go away. I know my choices resonate from deep inside a soulful place. My friends say that I know more than I know. But that doesn't change the way my stomach drops and knees begin to shake when I see you from across this darkened room. I'm afraid that if I cry these tears, the boat will sail upon them. So instead I catch them here inside my palms. Well, I know right now I must be free, making my discoveries. Right now is not the time to belong to you. We're not getting younger, and she belongs to you. If there is right and wrong, could I be wrong? Could I be wrong? Could I be wrong? Could I be wrong? Ooh, could I be wrong? Ooh, oh, could I be wrong? Ooh, could I be wrong? Ooh, could I be wrong? Could I be wrong?
Dente here on Rock On Radio.
Nice.
I got
Thank you.
I got a message here from my buddy, a fellow by the name of Tom Giraldi.
Oh, Tom.
You know Tom? There you
Yeah.
go. He says, "Hey, can you ask Tara to play Zimmerman, a song she did for me at Ernie White's studio? I forgot you had a Trenton connection
Yeah.
because you've been to Ernie's studio before."
I have. Yeah. That was great. Tom asked me to sing this song that he wrote a while back, and it was like one of the first times I was in the studio and recorded, and it's an honor for him to ask me to like sing a song that he wrote and work on that. Unfortunately, Tom, I love you so much, and I don't think I can play it because I don't think I can play it right now. But you know what? I'm gonna dig it up and try to do right by him another time. But right now, I wouldn't be able to bring my A game to that song. So
actually, I want to congratulate Tom. Years
Yeah.
ago, when I was a young UPS driver with no gray hair, one of the route that I learned I was trained on in order to make the union, therefore becoming a full-time employee. Tom's upholstery business was on that route. Tom is his name, but he owns Don's Upholstery.
Just in case anything goes wrong, he doesn't want to be associated.
Witness protection.
Stage name.
Correct. And he just celebrated the anniversary. I think it was like 25 years.
It was more than, I think,
30
like 30
years
or something.
30
yeah.
years.
Yeah. Congrats, Tom. That's amazing.
Congratulations to Tom. He's a good
We need
songwriter.
people like
actually.
that. Yeah, he is.
When Jerry Monk played my happy hour,
Yes.
he did some of the songs that Tom wrote that evening.
I will say, if for Tom as a gift for his I think it was 30 years in business. If you'd like to look up Zimmerman on YouTube, I think you can play it from there. It's on YouTube, but it's up to you. It's either way.
There you go.
So,
what
Zimmerman, the song that we recorded that he wrote.
Whose page? Whose YouTube page?
You can just YouTube it. It'll come up.
Zimmerman.
I'll post it.
Zimmerman Tire Dente. Yeah.
I'll post it in the event.
It's online if anyone would like to check that out.
What are your websites and things? How do we find you
Yeah.
once you leave this fabulous program?
Yeah. Well, you'll never find me. I'm gonna go hide. I'm
right.
just kidding. I am
Because we're giving out Brian's address instead.
We're giving out. Go hang out with Brian. Yeah.
Tara can be found here.
my liaison. I have a website called taradente.com. TARADENTE.
It's already posted in the event.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
That's out there already.
She does good work. doesn't she?
Yeah,
the producer.
She really
I
does.
get paid very well to do this too. I get paid in chocolate. Oh wait, I think
That's
Yeah.
going to be the most valuable currency one day. I think.
Chocolate?
Chocolate
Mhm.
probably will be. Yeah, weighing it out. That's one place. Another place is on Instagram, which is it's what the kids use these days.
Mhm.
And it's at Taradente. And right now, like I said, Taradente and the Blind Pilots is kind of a thing. I still go by Taradente most of the time. I wanted to have something to sort of denote, oh, this is gonna be with a full band, or it's gonna be alone. Taradente.com. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter via Instagram. Yeah.
That's it. We can find you in all those
Mhm.
spots.
I mean, just the
It's
internet,
Google.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
Like,
she's there.
there's not some complicated name that I go by or anything like that. You can find
Apparently, though, now speaking of Terry, we spoke of her
Mhm.
earlier. She is listening. She is tuned in.
Mhm.
Yep, in Cuba, Missouri.
Hi.
She said she is there with her Rock On Radio coffee mug, and it's
Aw.
got coffee.
Nice.
And she
drinking
says,
coffee
She'll
right
be up.
now.
and she said, nice music.
Oh, thank
there's
you,
a time
Terry.
difference though, so it's
It's
like
only an
7
hour.
o'clock to her.
Wait, where is she?
Missouri.
Oh, I thought you said Florida.
No.
Like that's
Cuba.
a completely different.
Cuba, Missouri.
So he
That's so
likes to say she's in Cuba.
Or Cuba. She's
I
in
see.
Cuba.
Enjoy your coffee. I would love coffee right now. I don't think I would sleep though.
Yeah,
So
that's
we're gonna
the
skip that. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
We have plenty of chocolate if you want to stay awake.
we have that to
Over
eat. So when you write your music,
I use a pencil. Yes,
really? Number 2?
I use a mechanical pencil or a pen. I have a lot of utensils at my disposal. Sometimes I want to use a Sharpie. Sometimes I want to use like a marker. I thought about making it a thing that like I use a purple crayon because Harold and the Purple Crayon is like my favorite
Yes.
childhood
That
book.
was so cool.
It's like so metaphorical and awesome. Like he just draws a thing and jumps into it. I'm like, that's what I want my life to be. So
Would it be
anyway, I should be like the musician that only uses a purple crayon.
How about you draw the crowd and jump into it?
Oh.
I don't know. I really wanted to groan on that one. I tried.
I got you there.
We tried.
Got you there.
Oh, nice.
How about I draw a door right behind me and walk
No.
out of it right now? Just kidding. I love you, Danny.
Just kidding. Wait, are you just
I'm gonna
kidding
draw
about the joke?
Wait, hold still. I'm drawing a zipper on your mouth. And I'm gonna pull it. I'm bringing it because I know that it will make him comfortable, and then he'll be able to rag on me more. So this is intentional. I'm giving you permission to rag on me.
Wow.
He doesn't usually need permission.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
don't know.
I should just go right
Rags
for
a-
that.
Rags away.
Well, now it's the gates are wide open. You were asking me about writing though, and I think I derailed.
Was I?
Yeah.
She's gonna bring it back around. Oh,
See, she took
She's
me out,
good.
brought me
that's right.
under
You're a
that
yo-yo.
zipper. Yeah, I've been told that before. When you do, write your songs, I
Yes.
realize that they come from a very personal place for you.
Yeah.
Do you ever write anything that's fictional?
I would say, oh man, how do I answer that? I don't think anyone's ever asked me that.
Let the ragging begin.
Wow. Oh my God.
Continue.
Well, okay, so I think there's like you take liberties in songs. It's like it would be so boring to sing a song if you like included all the details, or like you have to know like when to leave out some details, when to use a metaphor instead of real information, such as people's names. Unless you're Taylor Swift, I guess.
Yeah.
So like fictional.
Well, what I mean by that
I'm trying to
is,
think of a song
I know
like
you
that I can use as an example.
like
Zimmerman.
you write of things from a personal perspective and things that have happened to you and
Yeah.
events and
Right. Okay. So it's not like
emotional things.
right.
Have you ever just looked at the Rock on Radio merch?
Right.
Have you ever just looked at a
Mhm.
pen and wrote a song about, oh pen, I
No.
love you, man.
Nope. I have not
exactly
done
like that too.
Sure.
And I'll
it'll
sing
go
it.
over big.
Yes,
Oh,
it will.
no.
It's because it's Tara Dente.
I'm just thinking about an Uber driver.
Yeah.
Mm.
Was that a personal hit?
Yes, right.
Okay. I was like, I don't know what's happening right now. It's uncomfortable.
We'll fill you in.
Okay. There isn't enough chocolate in this room.
Nah.
Um,
No, just out of the arbitrary thing.
I would say so. No, but also I think that you're making a point. For me, it feels like a point that you're making, that it's important to sometimes like it's good to like not take yourself seriously all the time, obviously. And if I were doing more writing exercises, then that's something probably that I would do more often. Like with Rick Barry, he would give us writing prompts, so he would like take a random 2 words, and then we'd have to include it in a song. And then, but of course, then I was still drawing from my own experience to include those 2 words. So I think that there's gonna come a point probably that I hit a wall and I'm just like not able to write songs anymore, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to just take inanimate objects and start like writing songs about inanimate objects to
99 red balloons.
just to challenge myself. So I think my style has been pretty autobiographical so far, but I think that would probably be a good exercise at some point.
Actually, Claire and I were just talking about this tonight before Art walked in, and then we shut up because we were talking about Art.
No, you shut up.
We were talking about this before
Yeah.
Art got here. How one of the exercises when there's they teach authors or people who want
Yeah.
to write books is to just go into a public place and imagine. So you see a guy or a woman,
Mhm.
and you imagine their story in your head. Well, he or she looks like a dentist who might live in an upper middle class neighborhood. Well, maybe not. They might have been verbally abused today. They might, just start putting scenarios out there, and then the next thing, and write them down, and then see what you have when you're done.
Mm.
To develop what was it, character development?
Yeah, it's
right?
like a
Is what-
novel.
It's like a
writing.
fun game of projection.
Yes. A fun game of judgment.
Character development.
Look at that guy's shoes.
I think I might not like what I come out with if I start just like coming up with stories about people. But I see what you're saying.
No, but
and
just
yeah.
yeah.
Or like in 8th grade, I had a writing assignment. I remember this assignment. It was like, they give you a piece of paper with like a crappy photocopied picture from something, black and white picture of whatever. and you have to come up with like an 800 word or like whatever, you have to come up with a story about this one picture. And I loved those assignments, which is surprising to me, but coming up with, it's like, wait, I get to come up with anything I want. It was exciting. And I think I'm pulling to mind a couple of singer-songwriters from our community, in quotations, our community, like New Jersey, Asbury Park. Joseph Alton Miller. So
Joe Miller's great.
Yeah. He's somebody like he'll experience an interaction with a person or like, pull up a really heartfelt story about he'll write songs about other people's experiences, and that's really inspiring to me because sometimes I feel like I feel kind of self-centered sometimes, like just writing about myself and like my own thing, and it can be really good to be pulled out of your own story sometimes and like look at somebody else's story and be moved enough to try to bring music to that, or use what you do to commemorate it or like honor it. And
Right.
so he's someone who does that. And Arlen Filas too is somebody.
Another great
I always feel like
songwriter.
I'm mispronouncing his last name. I don't think I am.
No,
But,
that's it.
okay. Somebody else who, I almost want to call him like a historical writer in some ways, musical writer, because he like will write songs about
He wrote
inspiring
that
political
song,
movements
with
and
the
like
civil
people
rights movement. Yeah.
and so that's really inspiring to me. And it kind of struck a chord with me because I realized that there's probably, I could be writing about more than just myself, but so far I've used the guitar to process my own experience. And I think the day will come when I need more than that,
Right.
naturally, because your world opens up and everything's opening up. Yeah, but so far you're absolutely right. A lot of my songs are just like really, it's not, if I play like a cover show or if I'm playing like a gig just for a few bucks, and you got to have some covers available because you can't always dig into like your really emotional stuff all the time. It's like really, first of all, people don't want always to hear that. And then second of all, it's too hard to sing those things all the time.
It's draining.
It
takes
is
a lot of energy.
draining. Yeah.
Who do you
Yeah,
cover when you play cover
yeah.
material?
It's pretty random. Really. I cover, so I've had, oh my gosh, I need to add to it. There's been the same rotation for like years now. It's like Eddie Vedder's Into the Wild soundtrack, some of that stuff. I've been covering a Gillian Welch song recently. I cover some stuff from Raising Sand, Alison Krauss, Robert Plant.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of the last gig that I did, like all the stuff that I covered. There's like a Nora Jones song in there. I realized something about myself that by limiting my working with other musicians, I'm cheating myself of being able to see what genres I can sing in that I don't normally. Because I'm going to write songs usually in a very similar way for myself, like in a certain key, and I usually have a certain range. But if you try to cover like a jazz song or something, it really shows you a different side of your abilities. So I'm realizing, oh, it's cool to like jump into another genre every once in a while and cover a song that doesn't really make sense for you because it challenges you and you're like, oh, I can do that with my voice. I sang at my brother's wedding a couple how many weeks ago? Wow, I think it's like 3 weeks ago now. And I sang sang At Last, and it's like a really tough song. And I learned a lot from covering it because I was like, oh my gosh, like to see what she's doing with her voice and then sort of try to mimic it, just realizing how effortless she made that sound. And you're like, wow. So I want to diversify what I cover when I do cover songs, so not like just I do like Johnny Cash a little bit, but
Now, what did you when you were growing up?
yeah.
What did you listen to? I mean, what was on your iPod?
My iPod. Well, I had a cassette player first.
Ooh,
Yeah, going back.
kicking it old school.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like us.
Flipping the tape, like
Pencil
Flipping the
eraser.
when you wanted to hear
flip.
another part of the same part of a song, but you're like you have to like obsessively like wait right there. Like I would say my earliest memories of listening to something that I wanted to listen to, like picking the CD, walking down the street, listening to it, intentionally, not just like passively hearing something somewhere, was uh Enya, and I can't remember the name of the album. It was it has time in the name, but let's see, I'm looking up
Time like
um
tick tock the clock, or time like the spice.
A Day Without Rain
Okay.
was the name at 2000. I remember being obsessed with that CD. I would just walk. I was like 12 years old, so I wasn't playing guitar. I didn't know I could sing or didn't really sing at all. And it was like a very like spiritual experience for me. And yeah, like her harmonies, melodies, what she did, it probably turned me into a reverb addict too in some ways. What's the reason why I always have to be told like Tara, less reverb because of Enya. And before that though, there was Celtic music playing in my household.
Okay.
Like my mom was really into like river dance, and she had that stuff going. I remember just it's not that that was always on, but that's what I recall. Like that's what was memorable to me. So my mom is Irish, so it's like there was Celtic influence growing up.
Is she from Ireland, your mom?
No,
Or she-
her it's like we're several generations in.
Okay.
But and there was a lot of religious music playing too. I grew up in church, so we had a lot of like spiritual, like worship music playing, which is very emotional and intense. So I would say that I think that was ingrained in me definitely is like the emotionality of that genre is really something that I think shaped the way I write songs. It could just be very like intense, you know.
Mhm. Claire would know that. Claire is in the praise band. Of,
Yeah.
I grew up with that.
And
My
I'm
mom
glad that
played a lot, too.
oh, she did. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm really happy that that's something I grew up with because I was really like I had a lot of people that cared about me that helped to shape me. Like my vocal lessons were given me by Ali Moss, who she's a wonderful musician. She's living in Nashville now. But yeah, everybody check out Ali Moss online. She gave me voice lessons and like gave me my first guitar. Like she was like the
Wow.
angel that dropped that stuff in my lap and helped me. And then there were handfuls of other. Do you know like the Doughboys?
Gar
Mike.
Francis.
So Mike Scavone. So I grew up with Mike Scavone.
Okay.
And he was somebody like that gave me a lot of valuable advice and information, and just like was there to support and help. And I was on a worship team, and I learned to play like with a band in church, like playing chords on the piano and doing all that instead of just like doing my own thing. It was the first like immersive, and people aren't judging you. That's the key thing.
That's why I sing there.
Is you get to, yeah.
Well,
Actually, I should say we don't know if they're judging us,
Yeah.
but if they do it, it's quietly.
Well, they're doing it. They're
So
singing
are-
with us.
so are-
We're
so our
leading
egos,
song.
yeah.
It's not performing. It's leading
It's like,
song.
it's like,
So
all right,
different.
this isn't why I'm here. Closing your eyes, you're like,
Mhm.
this is about the Lord. It's not about you and your voice. But I so that shaped me. Yeah, and like
Okay.
just and not everybody has an opportunity to have like a big group of people just totally have your back and support you. And like so I'm absolutely like shaped by that environment. I didn't grow up listening to like classics really. Like I feel like I have a lot of catching up to do. My friends are like, wait, you haven't heard that classic album, or like you haven't, like secretly, and now it's not secret. Like Brian wants me to be on, one on great albums. And I'm terrified of that idea. Like, wait, I have to talk about an album like authoritatively. He's like, it's just your opinion. It's just like, what,
Yeah, that's all it is.
And I'm like, I don't have one. I don't know. Like, it's interesting. I feel like I grew up under a rock a little bit. So it's an insecurity of mine because I feel like I don't know a lot about what came before me, but I'm learning as I go. And,
I was, I'm going to share a little secret with you, and then we're going to get to some more music. Brian's podcast, it was doing very well, and I think it's great. And when he asked me to be a part of it, my first reaction was, oh no. I mean, I volunteered to do it, but my first reaction was, oh no. Now, if I go on there, are these people going to think I'm some sort of expert on Led Zeppelin 4,
Right.
And then I started thinking to myself, I was thinking, it doesn't matter. It's like an album. It's like an album review or a movie review.
Yeah.
It's only somebody's opinion.
You know what, Brian? All right, I'm gonna do a day without rain. Let's do that. Let's do this
There you
weird
go.
Enya
Tell
That's
Brian
obscure.
that. See?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna say about it, but like, well, I like it.
But you see,
it's just funny.
that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Brian will ask you your opinion, or Bill will ask you your opinion, and then you take it track by track. That's what they did with Led Zeppelin 4. And
Do they play the songs? Too?
Yes.
Oh.
they play. They don't
wow.
play the entire
Oh, okay,
songs.
right.
They
It's like,
play
that
a
would be-
good portion of
Yeah.
them, or certain sections that they want to analyze.
Yeah.
And it's great because as a musician and a lead head, that album literally changed my life.
Mm.
I started playing drums at 11 and a half, my 12th birthday. My 16-year-old cousin said, "You're a drummer now? Listen to this." Gave me Led Zeppelin 4 for my 12th birthday. And I was like,
Mm.
whoa, I need
Wow.
to be that guy,
Yeah.
And I've just been, the desire to be a musician overtook me. That was my watershed moment at the age of 12. I wanted to be a musician.
12. That's
So
yeah.
I go into this podcast
Mhm.
having nothing more than a love
Right.
of Led Zeppelin, that story in my pocket,
Mhm.
and the fact that I have analyzed John Bonham's drumming.
All right. Well, if
You
you
know.
did it,
If I did it, you can do it. That's right. See?
and I have a memory too. My sister gave me a Christmas present one year. She gave me "Rush of Blood to the Head" by Coldplay. And
Mhm.
Coldplay is one of those words that you say and then you like cover yourself and run and hide for cover because everyone's like, it's like blasphemy, like, because there are some, a band that have sort of like moved into that pop arena and like, but Rush of Blood to the Head was, I remember sitting down. Oh, I moved up to a Sony headset, like CD player. I was sitting at my desk with my like portable CD player.
The Discman.
The Discman. Walkman. Yeah.
Discman.
Walkman
And
was cassettes.
I was just like, it's like simpler times. I was sitting at my desk staring at the wall with headphones on, listening to this album, and it was like totally opening up my mind because it just spoke to me, like the melody choices, like they're a great band, like, but I mean, so Parachutes, Rush of Blood to the Head, X and Y are all like albums that really did shape me. And I learned clocks on Rush of Blood to the Head
Does
on
it affect,
piano and then like,
Does it affect how you write? Does it
it
ever
has
creep
to.
in?
I mean, it has
Okay.
to. Like, I think everything you've ever heard affects how you write, and writing is. It's kind of like all the. I won't use the word damage because that's negative, but like the work has been put in, whether you realize it or not. So by the time you sit down to write, you're a product of everything that came up into that moment. So
Collateral
whatever
damage.
you've heard, like for better or worse, I write really emotional songs because of the environment I was steeped in growing up, so like that's not everybody's cup of tea. I just use a lot of tea puns there. But that's what I am, and it seems to be something that so far I'm really grateful that people want to like listen to me sing about my sad crap.
Okay.
They join in on the sit.
If you're just tuning in, our guest tonight is Earl Grey. Our guest tonight is Tara Dente. I am Danny Coleman. If you want to give us a call, 609-241-7103. We'll gladly give you a copy of Tara's CD, The Gleaner. And we'll give you some Rock on Radio tchotchkes. We have pens. We have Rock on Radio lube. We have all kinds of things to give out. If you would like to Dial Hand Lotion. Dial Hand Lotion is the official lube of Rock on Radio.
Okay.
There
He's
you
trying to
go.
get rid of the huge carton that he's got.
I have like 5 cases of it, so if Dial ever finds out, they may sue me, but that's okay. Want to do some more music?
Yeah, let's do that. You guys were talking about the moon earlier.
You want to do that off the
planet
disc?
and the song.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it off
Yeah.
the CD.
All right. You want to talk about this song before we do that? It also gives Art
It's
time to
about-
cue it up.
It's about the moon.
Disclaimer.
I wrote this song. Wow, I'm trying to recall like the moment, like, because usually I can trace back where I was sitting, what I was doing. I can't recall that, but this song is about. Really, the concept is that like I think most creative people, or maybe just being a person, you've experienced that sometimes the daytime can feel oppressive, right? Like the sun is literally beating down on us. And sometimes You wake up, you go through your day, and you're like, what am I doing? And like, I'm not doing enough, and I'm not. And the night comes, and there can be a certain like escape and from the day, the oppression of the day, and all of the things that you feel like you have to do or should have done. And the moon's light can just feel brighter in that respect than the sun's light.
I call that jalapeno margaritas.
Which will be the title of my next song.
Which I will have at Langosta.
Those are really good.
They are.
I've had that margarita there.
Ooh.
Yeah, careful going to the bathroom later though.
Why?
The jalapeno margarita. I'm not going to expand on that comment.
That has never
been an issue. Just,
no. Yeah.
So,
Well, you eat
Right.
jalapenos whole. I mean,
I do. I had them this morning for breakfast, actually, in an omelet.
what kind of an
Wow.
animal are you? You just sat
Yeah.
there with a bowl of jalapeno.
From Yum, it's breakfast time.
No, I mixed them in the omelet.
Danny Coleman. Part of this balanced nightmare. This bowl of jalapenos for breakfast.
Spinach and jalapenos, along with
He's a monster.
Habaneros, Yes,
With,
ghost.
Ooh.
with cheese and an omelet. Yeah.
Mm,
See?
sure.
She just looks at me.
Ah.
All right. Tara Dente is our guest. Her album is The Gleaner, and this is a song called
The moon.
Here on Rock on Radio.
You got me right as I was.
Sometimes the moon feels brighter than the sun, because the moon doesn't judge what you've done. It's like a good old friend who will listen till he dies. Everyone's got a good reason to cry. Sometimes the moon feels brighter than the sun, 'cause the moon doesn't judge what you've done. It's like a good old friend, listen till you die. Everyone's got a good reason to cry. I let my hair grow long, let my bones grow out. Sing a song real loud till the moon's head spins. It seems forever ago, I was just 18. Now it's 4 years past. When will I feel redeemed? I let my hair grow long, let my bones grow, and sing a song real loud. Moon's head spins, moon's head through my eyes. Oh, sings. Ooh, ah. Ooh, ah. Sometimes the moon feels brighter than the sun, 'cause the moon doesn't judge what you've done. It's like a good old friend who will listen till you die. Everyone's got a good reason to cry. Sometimes the moon feels brighter than the sun, 'cause the moon doesn't judge what you've done. It's like a good old friend who will listen till you die. Everyone's got a good reason. Everyone's got a good reason. Everyone's got a good reason to cry.
Tara Dente here on Rock On Radio and her song called The Moon off of The Gleaner, which was released last year. And you've got another one coming out, which is fantastic.
Yes.
Okay, you
That
chew
chocolate was really good.
Well, there's a whole table full. Take whatever you wish. Speaking of events coming up soon, Art, you got what do you have going on there? What's going on with the city of Vegas?
We have the Candlelight Vigil coming up on December 4th,
Nice
which
Tuesday.
I believe is a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday.
And we have the Thanksgiving dinner on the 24th.
We have Thanksgiving dinner on the 24th.
Well, where is the candlelight vigil?
The Candlelight Vigil is at the State House Annex in Trenton.
On West State Street.
On West State Street. I think it's like 137 West State Street.
6 p.m.
If you want more information, you can get it at reachnj.us. And you can also register for that event as well, just so we can make sure we got enough candles
For the city
and
of
all that stuff. And we ask you to bring, if you've lost someone or a friend or a family member, to bring their picture as well.
Okay. So that's that. The 24th is the Thanksgiving dinner. That's here.
It's here.
At, in Heightstown.
And I forget the date for the Christmas dinner, but that is sometime in December 16th or something like that.
No, that's here.
That's the Christmas party for here.
Here.
That's the Christmas party.
Don't make it
Oh,
the
no.
same day.
That's the
No,
Christmas
actually,
spectacular.
maybe it's the Saturday before your spectacular.
15th.
It's here.
All right. What do you have there, religious advisor?
Oh, my kids actually are they're part of this community Christian choir. That's very cool. For 25 years, they have raised over $250,000 for all different types of benefits. So when they do a concert, they have a benefit thing, whatever organization, and they can come, and they've never taken money for themselves. All the money goes towards their benefits. So I will not be here on December 2nd because I will be at the Providence Day Seventh-day Adventist Church at 3 o'clock and at 6. They're really cool opening concerts. And it's kids and adults. It's about 100-member choir. And they move around and they do sign language, and it's all interactive, and they have all different types of choirs. So 2 of my girls are in the audition choir, the high choir, and one's in the teen choir, and I have one in the disciple choir. So they've been in it for probably since Gracie was born, so 10 years. And then St. Gregory the Great has one December 14th. It's a Friday night. At
My
St.
neighborhood.
Gregory's. Yeah. And then there's one on the 8th, but they don't know where it is yet or what it's going to be. But the benefit for the 2nd is the Ability Tree of New Jersey for the 3 o'clock and the Compassion Ministries for the 6 o'clock. So, yeah, the kids love it. The people in it are great. The friends that they've made. It's a great thing. If you ever have a kid that wants to sing, it's a great opportunity. And they have Christmas and they have spring. So this year it's Fear Not, God is with us.
Oh,
So, yeah. So I'll post it on the event too. There's a little clip out.
all right.
Stick out there. So, his chocolate is done now. My commercial's over. His chocolate's done. Okay.
I can talk now.
Yeah, I could talk again.
That's like
See?
the clapboard.
He did on purpose.
Take 2.
He wanted his chocolate break. You talk for a while, Claire.
Well,
And
we know
then-
how to get him to stop talking. Though.
You're
Danny.
not for long though.
More chocolate.
Hot chocolate. December 16th is the 10th annual Rock On Radio Christmas Spectacular.
Woo!
Which one? The
Yeah.
9th?
10th.
The 10th annual.
Cool. What happens at that?
Oh,
I thought the 10th anniversary was until April.
the 10th. Well, the 10th anniversary of the show is April. However, the show started April of 09.
Okay.
So I had a show in April
Mm-hmm.
of 09, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14,
You mean
15, 16,
December.
17, and this one will be the 10th Christmas show.
Gotcha.
So
Wow.
Be the 10th annual
Christmas
Rock
spectacular.
on Radio Christmas Spectacular from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Nice.
Eastern Standard Time.
Did you get the Rockettes?
The
Yes.
Rockettes, the Rockouts.
Oh. Oh.
I got the croquettes. Food is usually
Your budget
provided.
didn't cover the Rockettes.
Food is usually provided. Although I have had a Rockette on this show several times.
What?
Yeah. She's a former Rockette.
Just because she has the word rock in the title of her last job?
No, she was actually a Rockette in radio station.
No, right.
That's why he had her on.
I just
now.
didn't know if you only had musicians.
No. Well,
On the
she's
show.
also a musician.
Oh,
So-
there. Okay. That's pretty cool.
See? But we at the Christmas show, I've already gotten several recordings in tow. So if you're a musician listening out there, my email for this program is rockonradio1460@hotmail.com. So rockonradio1460@hotmail.com. And if you have an original Christmas tune, send it to me via MP3, or if you have a good cover of a classic Christmas tune, send it to me, and I will gladly play it at the 10th annual Christmas Spectacular.
I'll need to start dusting off some of the Christmas music.
Yeah, we have Billy Lay from the Dervishes. We had them last year, and we have all kinds of things from last year yet. A lot of good original tunes from the Williams Boy, Pauline Killonen. I'm trying to think of who else. This year so far, I got one from Bob Macon.
His son, right?
Which is actually why Tara is here, because she will be performing this Saturday at the second annual Making Waves benefit for Food for Thought at Langosta Lounge and Asbury Park Yacht Club.
Langosta Lounge.
Langosta Lounge.
No, you're at Langosta, but the benefits are
Oh,
both.
both.
Right.
True.
So, you see, I'm
I'll let you
I'm
do
that
your job.
cognizant. Can you believe
I'm
it?
gonna let you do your job now.
Don't you threaten me. Let me do my job. So that will be this Friday and Saturday. And what time does that start? I think it starts at 7 o'clock, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Because it's off the screen at the moment. But yeah, so that will be this Friday and Saturday. Make a Wave second annual benefit. So, and there will be a Rock on Radio gift basket to bid on in there with a chance to co-host this show one Sunday evening. So, all right. Why don't we do some more tunes?
Okay.
Let's do another one.
All right.
Why not? Because you got like 25 minutes left. See how fast that 2 hours went?
Very fast.
Then you can
You
run.
talk a lot.
You can run.
I don't know why I'm messing with you so hard. I'm sorry.
That's why I love you.
So more sad songs?
You
It's
know.
not.
Whoops.
Oh no.
It's fine. Okay. Yeah. So I mentioned Dave Hayes earlier.
Yes.
So this song's about him. It's called Open Seas because he had a dream of living out his days in a houseboat sailing around. So that's part of the story in the song. But I didn't, set out to write a song about him, but just, something that I sitting down and playing, I guess. Yeah, it's hard, someone passes away, like you want to be sensitive to them and like their memory, because you're helping to keep their memory alive through what you're doing through art. And so I wanted to keep in mind, try to see him through the perspective of everyone that knew him too. But just a really sweet, amazing person. And he's one of those people that kind of had a second life in a way, because he had his whole life and the last couple of years, like all he did was play music. He was so happy. He just ran around playing pedal steel with like Cranston and handful of other musicians, and he just loved it. And he was really like just goes to show like things might happen in a weird order. You don't never know what's going to come after that like first big set of events in your life, but maybe you have a second identity at some point, or a third or fourth or fifth. And so he was really inspiring that way. All right. You were a man of sweet ways, with your steel strings of honeycomb and your dreams of a roaming sailor's home. You saw colors in the sounds, and you saw the good in me. Now you're standing tall like a redwood tree. May the songs of young dreamers soar. If you were part of a house, you would be the open door. Your smile could grow a field of seeds to a field of flowers. The sun itself struck a deal with you to smile by the hour. Dave Hayes, we hope you find your treasure as you say. Dave Hayes, your smile was like a fire on the coldest day. We miss you here for what it's worth, and we'll keep singing songs while we're here on this earth. But there's just one thing we ask of you. While you're resting easy with the golden you, Dave Hayes, don't go to your grave with your melody. Dave Hayes, let them down like rain into the open sea. Dave Hayes, don't go to your grave with your melody. Dave Hayes, let them down like rain into the open seas.
Sarah Dente here on Rock On Radio.
Woo.
Thank you.
Woo.
Thanks, guys.
Fantastic. Top notch. They used to be my two catchphrases when this program first started.
Top notch.
Top notch.
I haven't heard you say that ever.
Well, I kind of got away from it. People used to laugh at it.
I brought it.
mock me
I brought
and
it back.
give me a-
Wow,
brought it
what an
back.
honor.
Wow.
Top notch.
It may be an honor or curse. We're not too sure yet.
Actually, I think the first time I used it was at the first Christmas spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yes,
Because it was top notch.
because it was. If
There's
you're
no other
wondering,
way of describing it.
I was on an AM radio station back then, and matter of fact, those first three Christmas spectaculars are why I'm no longer on that radio station.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, never mind. Move on.
They actually no. This it was a great station, and the program director was fantastic. He really was.
He was top notch.
Hello, Aaron, if you're listening to this. He was top notch.
Top notch Aaron. is what they
And
call him.
every
That's right.
year I used to have the first year I didn't really expect anybody to show up. You know,
That's optimistic of you.
but yeah, well, I mean, I had only been on the air for like 6
understand.
months.
I never
or-
expect anyone to be at shows.
so you're
They're
never
there for the
disappointed.
alcohol. Yeah.
But
I'm
exactly.
just kidding, everybody. I love you.
And the radio station lobby was probably smaller than this.
Mhm.
And but what I did was I laid out a couple of folding tables, and I had made my crock on chili, and I made some homemade eggnog, like real eggnog, eggs, heavy cream,
Yeah.
that type of deal, not the stuff
Sugar.
you buy in a carton. You know?
Yes.
And just add
It was top
booze
notch.
to
It was
top notch egg.
Mhm.
And and I had brought I think I don't even know what else I did. I went out and bought a few pizzas and thought, anybody who wants to show up shows up. Well, next thing I know, I had like 20 people show up.
Yeah,
Which
that's a
was-
lot when you're expecting zero.
When I was expecting,
Right.
I really wasn't expecting more than 5 or 6 people. Fortunately, I had enough food. Well, then the following year, all of a sudden, people are bringing stuff and baking, desserts,
Yeah.
and it grew. So, and then by the third year, I had like 35 or 40 people stuck in a room smaller than this.
Wow.
and
That's a crowd.
apparently, somebody who worked at the establishment made a phone call and complained that there were so many people in the room and so on and so
They were
forth.
just unhappy that they weren't there.
And,
Exactly.
which could have been, which they were, if
Or
they
they
wanted to
had
come
no more
upstairs, they were
eggnog.
more than welcome.
Ran out.
But yeah, so
Sounds like it kind of went out with a bang, though. Like,
It did.
Sounds like it had a good.
oh
run.
yeah, we were accused of. I
Maybe
was
literally a bang. I don't know.
I got a phone call from the program director while I was on the air, and he's like, "Danny, what are you doing over there?" I said, "It's a Christmas show. You coming?" and he's like, "No." He said, "I just got a call from the station, the head engineer from the station, that somebody called him and said somebody is smoking cannabis in the bathroom." It's like, what? I mean, there were kids at this
Oh,
show.
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah,
so,
right?
at the time, I think Sophia was only like
Oh, yeah.
17 or
Right.
16. I don't
Right.
think she could drive yet. She might have been like 15, and her mom and dad were there, and a couple of people brought their children with them. So I got up and I said to my co-host at the time, I said, "Take over." I got up. I go to, first of all, the bathroom's empty.
Mhm.
Secondly, I go in there, I shut the door. It does not smell. And the window was closed because it was December.
False alarm.
So
Yeah.
the
They
next
were just
day,
slandering.
yeah.
Slanders.
So then, so the following year, I wanted to have the party, and they told me no. I said, "What do you mean no? You can have 1 hour, not 3, and you will bring no liquid whatsoever, except water."
That does not sound like a party.
Hmm.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
At which point, the new program director had taken over. At which
Mhm.
point, I said, "Well, I'll just ask the owner because my show at the time, believe it or not, Bart, believe it or not, my show at the time, if you search that station or searched AM radio in that time slot, was number 2 and number 6 in the top 10 searches for AM radio programming. So I'm thinking, oh, that's pretty cool,
Mhm,
you know.
yeah.
right? We got some listeners and so
Right.
on and so forth. And so when I called the owner, he flipped on me. Flipped on me. You can't turn my state. No, there was no, hey, Danny, we need to talk about. No, it was, I was like, hey, what's going on? He's telling me I can't have, you can't turn my station into a bar. You can't. He starts screaming at me. And every other word out of his mouth, he called me an effing this and an effing that. And I said, you know what? This conversation's over. 30 seconds, I hung up on him. 30 seconds later, I get a message from his assistant. You are not allowed to set foot back in the radio station. Your party. Apparently, they had me sacrificing a goat, doing drugs. And, I mean, it was the stuff that I heard about this party. And I'm thinking, really?
Wow,
You missed a lot.
Sounded like a good time.
Why was I on the
What
air?
did I miss?
But the next day, the guy calls me, and I was doing a Hurricane Sandy benefit.
Because you're awesome.
And it was at, I want to say Sayreville High School, maybe? Or Old Bridge High School. I was up that way somewhere. And the guy calls me the next day,
The owner.
and leaves me a voicemail while I'm doing the gig. And the voicemail said, hey, Danny, I'm really sorry about the phone conversation yesterday. Ironically, we were out celebrating a friend of mine's birthday, and I was in a bar.
doing the thing that he was complaining on.
He says, apparently, I think I might have had too much, but if you give me a call, I want to work this out. I never called him back. Like, I'm done with you, man. You just lost me. You lost the show. You lost everything. So
Sometimes things,
For the best.
it's like you couldn't be contained. You're having a good time. There's goats. There's
Yeah.
cannabis.
So
No,
if
I'm
you
just
wanna-
kidding.
that's
There's
right.
not. It's fictional.
So if you
fictional
want to,
stuff, but-
if you want to
There's a song for you.
sacrifice a goat smoking cannabis plant,
See, it's safe.
The land smokes the goat.
smokes the goat.
Interesting.
See, it's safe to have that party here because in the back of your mind, you're going, okay, I'm in the church.
Yeah, right.
If I do something bad,
Recovery.
like flames are going to hit me from the sky.
Yeah, but I
Considering
never
I
leave
had
this
the
seat.
firemen come
For 3 hours. I sit here.
Oh,
3 hours straight. Just lost the
Now
cat.
we know the kind of parties that Danny throws. So.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, you're doing your thing, man, and I appreciate you for doing your thing.
Again, what are your websites so we can help you do your thing?
Tara Dente sad song that I'm just kidding. It's taradente.com, TARADENTE, and I have Instagram, Tara Dente, Facebook, Tara Dente, probably Tara Dente Music if you're looking it up.
Just search Terra.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You'll get it all.
yeah.
YouTube.
You'll even find like a defunct visual art page that went up like 10 years ago. Like you'll find a lot of things that don't involve me.
Mug shots.
Yeah, mugshot. That's
Piece
where
of
you can
chocolate.
find me, and I'm really looking forward to the playing with my band on the 7th. Like we're working hard and playing some new songs, and like it's just a very different iteration of my kind of career and my music. So I'm really excited for that one and to be up there with them.
Well, we got about 9 minutes. You want to do one more live, and then
Oh, I have a
we
9
come
minute
back
song.
and
That's perfect.
wrap it? Do you? Free bird.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna sing a song called "Winter Calls," and I like singing this one this time of year because it's kind of like the one that I wrote a while back when I was like, oh man, it's getting cold, and it's just that feeling of like going inward, that's kind of what
Nice.
happens in the winter. So this is kind of one of those Celtic-y,
Nice.
Celtic folky ones.
Hibernation.
Very cool. Now, by the way,
Yeah.
that Christmas party story,
Yeah.
that has never been told on the air.
Oh,
Tonight was the first.
Premiere.
So is that
Can't do it
is
as
that
well
like
sometimes.
that therapist inside of me? It's coming out. You're vibing
He's-
off of that
he's-
career path that I almost chose. He's just letting it
emotionally
all out.
vomiting.
Yeah.
Yes. He's just letting it all out.
Emotionally vomiting.
So you're not a therapist then, are you?
Nah. I've
So
been
when
in
someone
therapy.
talks to you for a half hour and you're like, so that was some emotional vomit. You're like
Only for Danny. It's only as his producer can I say those things. I'm a good mom, you know.
Get me a,
Oh
Please,
no, I
yes.
believe you.
get me a bucket and a mop. He just emotionally fired.
Excuse me.
Wow. You're going to use that term in a song. I know you
You
will.
are.
Emotional vomit.
Yeah.
Just
That's the
give me
name
a
of my
little-
next album.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I love it.
That brings a tear to my eye.
You, it's my phrase.
It's my eye. All right.
Carry on.
Thank you.
Excuse me, I'm trying to sing a song.
She's next.
All right.
Mhm.
I think we're sufficiently tuned.
Okay.
When the winter calls and the darkness falls, you will find me by a dimly burning light. Inside these walls, and I will stay there until I see green coming on the hill, coming up for me. Must we always fall like the leaves on the trees? Can we always grow like the branch in the spring? Must we always fall like the leaves on the trees? Can we always grow like a bud in the spring? Always flowering, never floundering. When the winter calls and the darkness falls, you will find me by a brightly burning fire.
I love it.
Wow.
Very
I got
cool.
Thank
chills
you.
like all up and down my
Oh, thank you.
Wow. Wow.
Oh my god.
Very
This is
cool.
winter's coming.
Yeah, it's true. It does. It does feel that. And it's totally
Oh, wow.
Celtic.
You can definitely feel the
Yeah.
Celtic influence in that one with the
Mhm.
picking style.
It's
Yeah,
fun to
going
play.
on
I
there.
like playing that one.
Yeah, very cool.
Thanks.
Excellent. Where do we find that tune?
That one's not recorded.
Ah,
Well, now it is.
It's gonna be a bootleg, Steve. Like weird
Right.
thing.
right?
We're listening to the show, going to the YouTube video.
The
Yeah.
best of Terra.
City of Angels bootleg series.
I'd
Actually-
be honored to have a bootleg album made for me. Like that would be like I made it. You know?
Oh gosh.
Piecing that together. I think I'm gonna probably one day come back to like my so-called roots and just like do a really weird Celtic album that I always wanted to make in
Well,
some
you got
castle or
the, you
something.
definitely have the
Yeah.
voice, the voice for it. Terry's loving it out in Missouri.
Oh,
She said
Terry.
you sound like a toss-up between Linda Ronstadt and Emmylou Harris.
Mhm.
Oh my god! You know, I got Emmylou Harris. I mean, that somebody said that at the last show. Renee Maskin. Thanks, Renee. That was so sweet.
Oh, Renee.
Yeah, I love her. But yeah, that's really cool. Thanks, Terry.
See, beautiful. Well, Tara, we gotta wrap it up. It is
Mhm.
8:59.
Wrap
Which
it
one did
up.
you want Art to go out on? Do you know
Oh,
what the CD was the other one?
Well, I usually do Never Going Home. I think
Okay.
it's a good one to end things with. That's the full band from the Cleaner. Yeah. Yeah. Let's do
Okay.
that one.
We'll do that
Mhm.
one. That's track 8.
There we go.
there, Art. Thank you so much for making the trip.
You're welcome. Thank you for
Right.
having me. Thank
Once
you both.
again, you're part of the Make a Waves benefits for Food for Thought, benefiting the hungry and the homeless. November 16th and 17th. You're the 17th.
Yep. I'll
At
be there.
Langosta Lounge, and you'll be performing with Pamela Flores and Dez and the Swagmatics.
Hey, my girls.
Mhm.
It's
I
gonna
think
be good.
that might be probably, if you're going to go to a show, go to that one.
I think I might go.
Unfortunately,
We'll
I
see.
cannot.
Mhm.
Oh,
I have it's at my daughter's birthday, so I'll be with her in the afternoon. And Saturday night, I have another party to go to, but I will be there
so
Friday.
many parties for
I
him.
know, right? I
Parties.
might go though. It's a girl night.
And, so you'll be there on.
I'll be there
7th.
Friday on the 16th.
Oh, the 16th.
Right.
Gotcha. All right.
17th,
Cool.
I
Well,
will not be present.
Mhm.
thank you both for having me.
But
All of
thank you so much. We're already over time. It's after
Mhm.
9 o'clock. See? Get all
Time
involved
flies.
with Dente and see what happens. All right. Well,
Yeah, Danny Coleman turned into a pumpkin. He's sitting here as a pumpkin now.
I'm a gourd.
After 9, what happens?
Cut me open and count the rings. No,
That's
all
a
right.
tree.
That's a tree. Okay, same thing. All right.
You're like a tree.
Tara, thank you so much.
Thank you, Danny.
Best of luck. Next week, we have Nick Clemens,
Woohoo.
the son of Clarence Clemens, coming
Big
in
man.
here again to talk about several things he has going on.
That's cool.
And, he'll be here on COA Radio, Rock On Radio, and SocietyBitesRadio.com. Tara Dente, best of luck.
Thank you so much.
You know we love you. And we're going to
You
go
too.
out on this tune off the Gleaner, which is called
Never going home.
Rock On.
Run to the river to wash my soul. Run to the river to find my goal. Never looking back, never going home. Never going home. Getting on a train that wanderlust. I'll go where I must. Never looking back, never going home. Never going home. sail for days. I'll sail where I may. Never looking back, never going home, never going home. Getting on a plane, going overseas, clouds by next to me. Never looking back, never going home, never going home. Going to the river to wash my soul. Going to the river to find my gold. Never looking back, never going home, never going home. Going to the river to wash my soul. Going to the river to find my gold. Never looking back, never going home, never going home. Going to the river to wash my soul. Going to the river to find my God. Going to the river to wash my soul. Going to the river to find my God. Never going home, never going home, never going home.